Hello.
Hi, Nadia. How are
Hi,
you?
everybody. I'm
Hi,
good.
everybody. It's been a while since we recorded.
hmm
Yeah.
Almost done with
And
school.
you're almost done with the semester.
hmm
Are you not done with finals yet?
No, I still have an assignment to do.
Okay. Well, what is there to talk about? What's new in your world?
I feel like I've been locked in a finals hole for the past couple days. Granted, I probably should have started studying way earlier, but I wanted to ask if you heard about the girl at Oklahoma University of Oklahoma who got a 0 on her psych paper.
No. Where did you hear about this? Is this a national news thing or is this on your
Yes, it
TikTok?
actually is a national news thing, which is kind of crazy, but I did see it on TikTok. So essentially, this girl is like a I think she's like a second or third year at Oklahoma, wrote a psych paper and got a 0 out of 25, which is kind of unheard of. Like, usually, like, you're at least gonna get, I don't know, something for writing your name, whatever. But she got a full on 0. And it did come with, like, comments from her professor, which I can read. But she got really upset and, like, brought it. It has been made to this whole thing. It's been on national television. Like, it'll make more sense when I read it, but like Republican representatives are calling her an American hero. She's trying to sue because it's like she says it's a freedom of speech issue, like XYZ.
Why why are they calling her a hero?
Why don't I just read some of what she wrote? And in my opinion, it is like not well written at all, especially for someone in college and someone this is for it's a psych class. She's a psych major. Part of it it starts by saying this article was very thought provoking and caused me to thoroughly evaluate the idea of gender and the role it plays in our society. The article discussed peers using teasing as a way to enforce gender norms. I do not necessarily see this as a problem. God made male and female and made us differently from each other on purpose and for a purpose. God is very intentional with what he makes, and I believe, hold on, it's cut off. And I believe trying to change that would only do more harm. Gender roles and tendencies should not be considered stereotypes. Women naturally, wait, I think this is like a part of it. There's another part of it where she just goes on to say something about, I personally believe that eliminating gender in our society would be detrimental as it pulls us farther from God's original plan for humans. It like literally goes on and on about this.
Getting me all upset
Wait,
or whatever.
there's like
But
a part of it where she like fully, oh wait, here we go. The part in the beginning, where she's talking about women naturally want to do womanly things because God created us with those womanly desires in our hearts. The same goes for men. God created men in the image of his courage and strength, and he created women in his image of his beauty. He intentionally created women differently than men, and we should live our lives with that in mind. And this is where like a psych class, it's something about whatever, but this is what the teacher said. He said, or like, wait, actually, I don't know if it has it on here. But the teacher was just like, first, you didn't answer the prompt. And like, I don't know. The, the prompt of the paper was like writing a thoughtful reaction to the paper,
I mean,
650 words. Like,
I
wait,
guess it
I'm
is a
trying to,
thoughtful reaction.
wait,
It
let me,
is. It's a reaction to the paper. That's how she reacted.
okay, this is what he said, or they said. Please note that I'm not deducting points because you have certain beliefs, but instead I'm deducting point for you posting a reaction paper that does not answer the questions of this assignment, contradicts itself, heavily uses personal ideology over empirical evidence in a scientific class, and is at times offensive. While you are entitled to your own personal beliefs, there's an appropriate time and place. I encourage all students to question or challenge the course material with other empirical findings or testable hypotheses, but using your own personal beliefs to argue against the findings of not only this article, but the findings of countless articles across psychology, biology, sociology is not best practice. You argue that abiding by normative gender roles is beneficial, but to then say that everyone should act the same while also saying that people aren't pressured into gendered expectations is contradictory, especially since your arguments reflect a religious pressure to act in gender stereotypical ways. Like, it goes on. And she also, in this, called us an entire group of people demonic, like anyone that doesn't abide to male and female gender roles, and the teacher is themselves transgender. So,
Dang.
anyways, like, time and place. But then she got really mad and turned to all the Republican, like, conservative student groups, and they, like, helped. Now people are just calling her American hero, and I just don't understand it. Anyways, that was a long description of what.
So now what is the professor like?
Basically, the instructor, I guess he's a graduate. They are a graduate instructor, and now they're being put on administrative leave because she is alleging to religious discrimination, and that is the reason why she failed the assignment, because of religious discrimination, not because she wrote a horrible essay.
Okay. Well, this is beyond my scope of like legal knowledge. However, I think it's so terrible that this student can get the instructor
Yeah,
fired
right.
based on personal, like calling out her personal ideologies and getting a group of people to rally along with her against this person.
Mhm.
And then for it to be like, I don't know, set a tone for what is appropriate for our
Yeah,
entire country, or appropriate or not appropriate.
yeah. I
Uh,
think it's hard. Also, Oklahoma is a conservative state, obviously a more Republican-leaning state. So it's like, I mean, but this is also like a college campus. But I just think, like, it'd be a different story if she had written that essay well, or like, I don't know, even I don't know, anyone that has
yeah,
taken a class that asked for an essay like that knows that you don't write it like that. If they were asking for like an op-ed or something, like, maybe that'd be more appropriate. And this is not, like, that was not the prompt. And
right.
so regardless of what she had written inside the essay, like, it didn't deserve any points because it wasn't the assignment.
It wasn't answering the prompt. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was horribly, horribly 0 out of 25 written grammatically, but it did not
Yeah.
answer the prompt.
It was like, I mean, I didn't even show a picture, but I mean, also, I'm seeing all this on TikTok too, but it's like little things, like, it's not in correct format. She doesn't indent any of her paragraphs. She's like putting quotations wrong, like quotation marks, like simple, like grammar. It's like little things that people are like picking apart. But if she wanted to go off the fact, like, my essay deserved like whatever, despite the religious discrimination, like, she didn't, because she actually just doesn't know like simple grammar things. But I don't know.
The thing that I hate most about this is that we are getting all like riled up and not thinking about the people that are getting hurt along the way, or
Right.
they're getting all riled. I'm also
Mhm.
getting all riled up, but like, I mean, I feel terrible. Like, this is another human that lives alongside of us, and
Mhm.
they are being like specifically insulted and made to feel terrible and made to feel like the loser in this situation,
Yeah.
when we should be supporting people,
Right.
you know, and their choices, as long as it's not hurting somebody else. It's
Yeah.
literally not hurting somebody else for someone to live in that way. Like
Yeah.
they can say, well, you should support my desire to like carry a gun around. That actually hurts
Yes.
somebody else. But
Yeah.
this person deciding to live and express themselves in whatever way that they
Yeah.
want to, and other people wanting that freedom, that doesn't hurt anybody
Yeah.
else. And
It's
okay, let's
just,
go back to God's plan.
yeah,
Okay.
I just like, I
Like
can't.
when does God's plan supposedly end? If God created this transgender person, is that not
Yeah.
God's plan? Like
Yeah.
what? Are you
I don't
saying
know.
that God did not create that transgender
Y-
person, but created you? I mean, like
Yeah.
what?
It's kind of insane. I think it's also just super eye-opening. I mean, I go to school in Boston, I go to Northeastern, like, I am not in any way like, this is not a situation that I ever see myself in because the majority of people that go to school here are, like, not super religious, or even if they are religious, are not leaning, like, conservative, like, those ideologies. And also, I'm in all those classes too. Like, I've taken psych classes, social psych classes. I've probably had to write an essay like that before. But think that someone would take that and write an essay like that is kind of insane. And honestly, it's like, I didn't really think that people my age thought that way. And it's kind of crazy. But
Oh,
maybe
right.
that's
I mean, maybe you
super.
should spend some time living in a place where people think
I mean, like,
totally differently from you.
that is one thing. Like, maybe I should be introduced to that, but also I don't want to, and I have the choice to not surround myself with people like that, and I'm going to make the active decision to not, because I don't think that I would personally be supported in that environment, and I also would just not want to hear what they have to say. Sorry.
Right.
Which
I
they wouldn't
wish
want to
that,
hear what I had to say either. I just like I just can't do that.
yeah. I do wish that it didn't feel like we were so divided as
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
country, as a culture, yeah.
But then it also
Um,
feels like things like that, your like essays or like like just beliefs like that make it so that there's like a distinction, a clear distinction between two different sides. Like, I don't know.
I,
It's just a very aggressive argument that is super detrimental to people's, like, I mean, health and
existence. Yeah.
overall, like, yeah, it's just crazy.
It's detrimental to all of us, actually. Like, I
Yeah.
think, you know, this is a podcast about like women's health issues. And
Mhm.
the thing is, there's like this overlying vibe and feeling in our country
Mhm.
that is like at a level of constant state of stress. You
Yeah.
know, we we have differing opinions. Those
Mhm.
differing opinions get like exclamation points on Instagram or
Yeah.
like TikTok or whatever. Like they just
Right.
get spread like wildfire, and then also
Mhm.
exaggerated, and then also made to be like they just are. People are incentivized to make things so much more emotion provoking so that they
Mhm.
get followed and shared,
Yeah.
and then it just sits there and festers. It's all there at the top of our head. We are constantly being bombarded with this reminder that we have other people in the world right next to us that
Yeah.
feel so differently and actually actively feel that the way that we live our lives and the way that we think
Mhm.
is bad, is evil, demonic, as she said, you know?
Yeah.
And so we're like,
Yeah,
if I could say that where are we just like constantly living? Are we living in a state where that feels like us laying on a hammock in the sunshine versus, crossing a freeway with cars coming at us, we're more
Yeah.
in the direction of crossing a freeway with cars coming at us
Yeah.
than we are living in a state of like laying in a
Yeah.
hammock in the on the
Yeah.
beach. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so like that's our steady state, that we're like dodging
Mhm.
cars coming at us. And I feel bad that for you, that you most of your life it's been a little bit like that. I don't
Yeah.
feel like my childhood felt like that, even though I had like my own personal
Mhm.
whatever things coming at me. Like it didn't feel like a constant state of attack, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, I do that's true, but I also feel like, I like the fact that I'm able to share my opinions and have other people agree with me, even if they are like, I don't know, maybe before people would have these opinions but didn't share them outright, and I just feel like now that if I do, it's not like I'll immediately be attacked for what I believe in. Like, I know that there's a lot of people out there that share the same opinions that I do. But I don't know, I think all of this is just kind of crazy, and maybe this is not the first time this has happened, but the fact that she made it publicized, like, it wasn't like the school did this or the teacher did this, like, she did it. She sought out she say, which is like a conservative right group that Charlie Kirk had or founded, and like sought out that chapter at her school to help it get onto national news, like, and then also now you're just spreading this propaganda about gender, like, through your own not really well written essay. Now everyone's reading it and being reminded that this, like, these thoughts exist. Like, it just, like, I don't know. Now you're just now I like, I don't know, it just makes me riled up, but yeah, it's just
You're
kinda
right.
crazy.
There you go. A little bit defending, you know, our way of social media these days. You're right. People find their people more easily.
Yeah,
People who
like
felt like they were alone can now find their people more easily. So that is a
mhm.
positive thing.
But
But
now she's putting her essay out, and now she's finding her people, and I don't wanna find those people.
you can shut it off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't obviously interact with any, like, thing that's like that, and everything that I see about this is like, I can't believe this is happening, but yeah, I don't know.
And I mean, you know that like that term echo chamber, right? You are
Yeah.
like surrounding yourself by people
Yeah,
that are just going to say
totally.
this, like rile you up, support you. Like
Yeah.
you keep getting
No,
posts that
totally.
show that she's like terrible. And
Yeah.
then meanwhile, there's another half of people that are seeing posts that are like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's like freedom of speech, like, I don't know. I don't know. But, like, this is like that echo chamber is exactly why things like I thought that Kamala was gonna win the election. When if I maybe looked at it from a more, like, political campaign perspective, like, general, then maybe I would have seen whatever. But I literally I was surrounded by these people that have the same, like, thoughts as me on social media, and then things like this happen. I'm like, "Oh, I forgot that people with the extreme, like, opposite views exist." But whatever. Actually, it's not whatever, but I don't really know what I can do about that.
Well, your sister wants to do things
Mhm.
about that, but me
Yeah.
personally, I feel I always want to fix things and I feel overwhelmed by how big this problem is. So, my way of dealing with that is I'm going to do the best I can
Yeah.
for the small circle that I live in, you know,
Mhm.
and like be a good human to the people that are around me and
Right.
spread positivity to the small circle that I am in.
Mhm.
And that is all that I am willing, capable
Yeah.
of doing. And that's the best I can do, or
Yeah.
that's the best that I'm willing to do. And thank goodness for the people that are willing to make bigger steps and have a louder voice.
Mhm. Agreed. Yeah, it's just kinda crazy. But
You speaking of health stuff, that just made my tummy, like, sour. Like, I feel stress in my belly just from
I'm
that
sorry.
conversation.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know.
Okay, well, that's enough of that. I think I don't want that to be our last conversation for this year. So maybe we'll have one more podcast for this year, finish it up in a few
Mhm,
days, in about a week when you're back in town, and we can
mhm,
talk about what it's like to have just 2 more semesters left of college and what that's going to look like
mhm.
for you. And I know you don't care about, you don't think that people care about your path, but I care about your path. So I want to talk a little bit more about next steps and
Okay.
maybe put it out there for people that are doing similar things as you. Yep. Okay. All right.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Nadia. Bye, everybody.